They laughed at Earth. Then humanity deployed the real fleet. The Galactic Council meeting on Kareth Prime was a spectacle unlike any other. Species from every corner of the Orion Arm filled the massive amphitheater. Hovering above the chamber, translators buzzed as dozens of languages were exchanged, all centered around one hot topic: Earth. Laughter echoed like thunder when Earth's representative, Ambassador Helen Trask, stood to speak. "We urge the Council to consider the strategic implications of the Zorlaxian fleet's movement toward the Sol system," she said calmly. The Zarn diplomat, a being made of crystal and light, rippled with amusement. "You humans speak of strategy as if you have fleets to defend yourselves. Your kind has, what do you call them? Aircraft carriers? Floating antique toys?" Laughter erupted again. Even the usually stoic Grawl warlords rumbled with amusement, their tusked jaws curling upward. "Earth is still counting bullets," one of them muttered. Helen stood silent, letting the laughter rise like a storm and fall like a tide. Then she simply nodded. "Very well," she said, and walked out of the chamber without another word. That same day, the Zorlaxian fleet, cruel, efficient, and centuries old, entered the outer rim of Sol space. The plan was simple: conquer Earth, install planetary governance, strip mine the resources, and move on. They had done it 100 times before. But Earth wasn't what they expected. Orbit of Neptune, Zorlaxian warship Craven Talon. Captain Vor watched the sensors, slightly bored. Earth's defenses were laughable. A few satellites, some outdated fusion-powered ships, and barely a handful of orbital stations. "Commander," said one of his bridge officers, "we are detecting warp disruptions at Lagrange point L2. Vor smirked. "The last gasp of a dying species. Bring it on screen." The holo bloomed. At first, it showed empty space. Then one, then two, then dozens of ships emerged from the void. But these weren't the rusty vessels Earth paraded around in public. These ships bore no registry numbers, no Earth insignia. And they were huge. Massive, obsidian-colored ships bristling with energy signatures far beyond the Zorlaxians' own fleet tech. Sleek, silent, and cold. Where did they come from? Vor whispered. "They were cloaked," his officer said, voice trembling. "They were right there the whole time." And then the signal hit. A broadband transmission in Galactic Standard. "Zorlaxian fleet," said the calm voice of a human AI. "You have violated Sol space. You have trespassed on a sovereign system. You have mocked a species that survived extinction-level events without ever leaving its homeworld. You have made a grave error." Captain Vor scoffed. "Open channel. I will respond." But the comms officer shook his head. "They aren't waiting for response. 20 minutes earlier, secret human base, lunar far side. Activate the fleet," said Admiral Ruiz, standing before a command table with a hologram of Earth's defense grid. "No more hiding. No more pretending to be primitive." The officers around him, drawn from every nation on Earth, nodded. The United Terran Defense Fleet, a project hidden from the galaxy for over a century, had never seen combat. It had been built using reverse-engineered tech from crashed alien probes, hidden lunar foundries, and decades of human engineering. Each vessel carried enough firepower to level a continent. But the most terrifying part wasn't the ships. It was the crews. Humans, trained in war, hardened by history, with a very personal reason to defend their home. Back in orbit, the battle begins. The Zorlaxians fired first, unleashing waves of plasma torpedoes. But they were intercepted mid-flight, hacked by human AIs and detonated in harmless bursts of light. Then came the counterstrike. A spearhead of Terran ships shot forward. The lead vessel, HDV Gravemind, released a pulse that disabled every Zorlaxian ship's shielding. The second wave fired railguns that moved at 30% light speed. The third wave teleported inside enemy formations and began surgical strikes with nanite bombs. Within 10 minutes, 80% of the Zorlaxian fleet was floating debris. Captain Vor stood in stunned silence. How is this possible?" he said, eyes wide. The screen lit up again with the same calm voice. "You believe what we showed you. Outdated tech. Fossil fuel history. Bickering governments. You thought we were fractured. Primitive. The screen changed. Footage of human wars across millennia. Hiroshima. Stalingrad. The Somme. The trenches, the cities, the deserts. We've been at war with ourselves for centuries. Do you really think we needed peace to become strong? Then, the human face of Admiral Ruiz appeared. You came to enslave Earth. But this planet doesn't kneel. It buries tyrants. The transmission ended, and the last Zorlaxian ships exploded in coordinated fireballs. Galactic Council. 1 week later, the next session of the Galactic Council was quieter. Ambassador Helen Trask returned. This time, no one laughed. She placed a single data chip on the central podium. This is footage of the Zorlaxian invasion attempt. Also included is a message from the Terran High Command. The council chamber was dead silent. Helen nodded and added, Earth recommends a new protocol. Any fleet approaching a developing world must first be scanned for hidden military capability. I believe you'll find that hiding one's strength is a logical evolution in a hostile galaxy. The Zarn representative trembled, refracting fractured light in panic. We were led to believe Earth had barely reached interstellar capability. Helen simply smiled. We let you believe that. The Grawl warlord stood. Earth has warriors. Real ones. We underestimated them. From that day forward, no one dared call humanity primitive. Elsewhere, deep space human shipyard Erebus. In a black expanse of space, surrounded by nebulae that blinded even the best scanners, shipyard Erebus continued its work. Thousands of drones constructed the next generation of Terran vessels. Inside, a human engineer named Marcus watched as the AI calibrated a prototype warp core that would allow instantaneous travel across the galaxy. The war had ended before it started, but Earth wasn't done preparing. We'll stay hidden, Marcus muttered, mostly to himself. Let them forget again. Let them grow arrogant. The AI beside him pulsed. Why not show strength? Because, Marcus replied, the galaxy still laughs. We need them to laugh. It's only when they laugh that they let their guard down. He turned back to the viewport. One of the new ships, a sleek, dagger-like vessel with no name and no ID, slid out of the hangar and disappeared into darkness. A storm was coming, and Earth would be ready. Meanwhile, survivors report Zorlaxian outpost Sigma 9. Private Dartal had escaped in a pod, the only survivor of the Sol invasion fleet. His superiors dismissed his report. Humans? With that kind of power? Impossible. But his footage, blurry, chaotic, filled with AI voices and cold-eyed humans, spread like wildfire. And with it, fear. They don't fight like other species, Dartal kept saying. They enjoy it. They have no hive, no unifying code. They fight because they choose to. That makes them unstoppable. The Zorlaxian government tried to silence him, but it was too late. The myth of Earth had grown teeth. Galactic Fringe, Pirate Lord Kravax's den. Kravax the Red watched the footage from Sol with narrowed eyes. I thought they were prey, he said. His lieutenant grunted. Everyone did. Kravax leaned forward. Then let's change our thinking. They're not prey. They are wolves wearing sheep's clothing. He laughed. A slow, dangerous sound. And then he deleted every Earth raid plan his cartel had ever drafted. Earth, 3 months later. Life on Earth went on. People went to work. Children played. Musicians composed songs that would never be heard off-world. The planet looked peaceful. But under the oceans, in the asteroid belts, and deep beneath old mountains, the real fleet rested. Waiting. Watching. Humanity had once been underestimated. It would never be again. Because the truth was clear, Earth was not a backward world. It was a fortress. And if the stars dared to laugh again, humanity would deploy the real fleet.